Despite being a coastal territory and having a rich tradition and culture, why is Odisha so poor? Was it a result of colonialist policies that completely destroyed it, or some other event in history? Everything that has gone wrong in India in the past 1000 years is the consequence of foreign occupation and foreign colonialism. It starts with the Turkic invasions of India, which destroyed, which basically began the genocide of India, in which at least 500 million people died over 5 6 centuries. Okay, it resulted in the destruction of incredible amounts of India's architectural and religious and cultural and traditional heritage. Almost all of the temples in northern India and western India have been wiped out, destroyed. They're all in ruins today. Much of south of India was also affected, especially in more recent times, right? And then you had the British who came in, who basically did an even more thorough job of destroying India. They extracted everything that was of value out of India and transferred it into their GDP, right? And they impoverished India. They stole everyone's land by the Rayatwari Act. They reduced the entire population of India to subsistence farming and destitution. They destroyed India's culture, India's heritage, India's writing systems, India's education system, everything. And they imposed this divide and rule policy that we are still implementing today. And our government and our people and our education system, everything is still completely colonized. If I don't speak in English, half my viewers will leave because they don't understand Hindi, right? So that is the situation we are in today. So everything that we are suffering from today in India is a consequence of 1000 years of humiliation. The Chinese talk about a century of humiliation, right? Well, India has undergone a millennium of humiliation. We must not forget this. And the ones who are enjoying the benefits of our wealth must be held to account when India rises. All right. So the point is this: that see, it did not only affect Odisha, it affected the whole of India. But yes, today Odisha is comparatively poorer than many of the states, such as Gujarat, for example, which benefited from the policies of Narendra Modi for a decade. And Gujarat was able to rise very rapidly because of the right policies. And if you look at India, the peninsular part of India, the western portion of India is overall more developed. The eastern portion, including Kalinga, etc., Orissa, Bengal, is underdeveloped. It's because of various local governments and various central policies. So the local government in Bengal has been the communist government, which basically reduced Bengal to poverty, right? Theirs was a povertarian agenda, an agenda of no development, zero development, etc. And similarly in Orissa also, I do not blame the current government for impoverishing Orissa, but they have not been that proactive in developing the state. Orissa is rich in everything. It has an incredible culture, a very, very rich and glorious history. It has wonderful natural resources. It has the most beautiful beaches, and it has so much traditions and culture, the Jagannath festival, etc. I mean, that's just one example. You have the Konark Sun Temple that I haven't visited in more than 40 years, etc. So my point is that Orissa has everything that a state could ask for it to become extremely prosperous. So I blame, see, what happened before independence. It is all because of the colonizers and occupiers of India. They will be held to account someday, soon. But after independence, it is the socialist policies of the Nehruvian regime and the local state governments that are responsible for every state that is in a bad condition today. And Orissa is definitely one of those. I think if you change the policies of the government in Orissa, especially when it comes to tourism and culture, Orissa could benefit like anything in the next 10 years. If you just change some policies, if you would turn Orissa into a tourism hub and a culture hub, you would get millions of tourists every year, and they would inject millions or billions of dollars of cash into the local economy. That itself could give you a big spurt in the growth. It would kickstart so many small industries and various other complete ecosystem of arts, culture, industries, and all that catered towards tourism. That's just one example of how Orissa can be developed, and there are so many other ways. There is so much in Orissa. So the thing is, it's all first of all because of 1000 years of humiliation and colonialism, And secondly, because of the socialist and povertarian policies post independence of the central governments and also the state government. So that is why Odisha is so poor today, and in such and the shape it is in today.